Miss Coi Leray, yo. Coi Leray is not ashamed to voice her opinions on the music industry, hip hop in particular. Um, we did a video segment a while back on this channel talking about Coi Leray when she asserted that the music industry is oversaturated, and we had some fun talking about that back then because it was ironic hearing her talk about how saturated the music is when in our eyes, she contributed to that saturation with her own music. But nevertheless, she is back somewhat in the hip hop space of news because she posed an interesting question to the greater, broader hip hop community, asking what constitutes an icon. So this is actually more of an opinion type deal here, because she's questioning, wondering, what is an icon, because she doesn't really know what the rules anymore, because it's all just sort of a smorgasbord of different things going on with how rapidly changing the music industry is. So interesting comments from her. So we'll go ahead and pose it to the Conscious Approach community here today. This says Coi Leray asks, "What makes an icon today?" Coi Leray has some questions. In an era marked by a rapidly changing music industry, the question of what defines an icon has become more complex than ever. Coi Leray recently took to social media to ask a poignant question: what makes an icon today? Her tweet sparked a thought provoking discussion that delved into the criteria for achieving iconic status in the music world. Coi Leray began her question by acknowledging the past icons who set the bar high with their undeniable influence and talent. She listed previous icons such as Janet Jackson, Beyonce, Rihanna, Sierra, Missy Elliott, and more. However, she pointed out that the standards for icon status have shifted over time, leading her to ask her followers for their insights on the matter. Additionally, the responses poured in, offering a diverse array of perspectives on what it takes to become an icon in today's music industry. One user emphasized the importance of timeless music, suggesting that it's the ability to create music that transcends trends and captivates listeners for generations that truly defines an icon. The shortest answer is timeless music, they wrote. You won't always know what it is or which song it is, and people are trying to force it these days. Put out your best music, and the listeners will pick what is timeless. So you'll see here. Here's some of Coi Leray's tweets here. It says, back in the days, it was easy to define an icon. For example, Janet Jackson, Beyonce, Reese, Sierra, Missy, many more. I noticed things change, so I'm asking, what makes an icon today? Streams, likes, numbers? Another one of her tweets said, stage presence, vocals, cadence, fashion, versatility, choreography, effort, bars, lyrics. Does it not matter? I don't know why she spelled matter like that. What do y'all want to see? Or be honest, it doesn't even matter. I don't know why she spells it like that, but it's irking me. It doesn't even matter anymore because it's so much going on in the industry. Viral moments is easier to digest. So, it's an ongoing dialogue about what is iconic these days because no one knows. The music industry is somewhat of a wild, wild west type of environment. But what do you make of Coi Leray's question there? Do you concur that it is confusing to determine what makes an icon these days? Or is there even a such thing as iconic anymore with the way that the music industry works nowadays?
I think it's kind of fair to ask these questions, but this is a very subjective question, because everybody's going to have their definition of what they think iconic is. So her asking and conducting a poll, yeah, you're going to get a different, assortment of answers. It's no different than, who's the greatest of all time in basketball. And you can just say, okay, not the greatest of all time, whatever. Who's the greatest center of all time? Who's the GOAT center? And then you're still going to have a crazy debate.
Yeah.
And because everybody has their own different criteria. So to ask that question is very vague, but for her to, try to double down and try to, what is it? Streams, likes, what? And, but those people that she named, she wasn't really around to see or feel what iconic energy is. So yeah, she can look at the videos, hear, secondhand accounts, listen to their music, but being in that time frame, when some of those songs drop, it resonated with the people in certain kind of ways. I just know, because I don't use the term icon, but if you want to use, um, you know, a top tier, who would top tier people in the 90s or whatever, yeah, Missy's up there for sure. And there were certain songs that Missy came out with mainly due to Timbaland's productions. But there were certain Missy songs that were just, man, I still listen to them. And so, and what makes those songs good is there's high levels of quality, as we always talk about, high levels of quality and effort and talent that goes into those things. And that's everything the industry is not right now. It's not high quality. There is no effort and there is no more talent. It's just all commercial. Exhibit A, Ice Spice earlier. So there is no buying into it. There's nothing to buy into. There's nothing to want to see more of, hear more of. Everybody's looking for the next meme. And so, Coi Leray, she seems to be hungry for it all, but my whole thing is get in the lab, get in the lab and make real songs.
Right.
The little stuff that I did hear from her, girl, you sound like every other disposable thing right now. And for a person that's talking all of this, like you want to be one of the greatest of all time type of things, or considered one of the best of your generation, you're not gonna get it talking about your box. So no, this whole thing here, I feel like her placement for asking the question, it doesn't, she also added in, flow, cadence, lyrics, bars, and all that stuff. She added all of that stuff, but that's a no-brainer. So I don't know what you're really trying to get from your people here. And the people said it best: quality music. So get in the lab, make some quality music, and stop adding to the garbage. Because from the little stuff that I did try to hear from her, because I would want to be fans of people. So I came in this with open ears, and I heard one song talking about box. I said, okay, girl, I don't blame you. You know what I'm saying? It's the game. You know what I'm saying? It's the game. So get you a hit. And then I heard some other stuff, and I'm like, nah, you just you different than anybody else. So yeah. So I don't know, man. I feel like she's adding to the garbage. I don't feel like she would be iconic unless she changes her tune and get more into artistry instead of trying to go viral. So what about you, man? How do you feel about this? Do you feel like are there any more icons in the game, or what's going on?
Shouts out to Nas. Nas Magic 3, he has a song on there called Icons. Wayne is on there. Now, granted, it ain't the Carter 1 or the Carter 2 Wayne, but it is probably Carter 3, Carter 4 Wayne. So Nas was able to bring Carter 3, Carter 4 Wayne out for a feature. Nas, of course, kills it. And Wayne does his thing, but like I said, it ain't prime Wayne. It's not Carter 1, Carter 2 Wayne. But great song though, great song. So shouts out to Nas on that Magic 3. So y'all check out Magic 3 if you have not listened to it. I know it's a rapper who's old. Oh my God. Don't worry, you won't spontaneously combust. Trust me, you won't.
I know.
But if I'm going to attempt to psychoanalyze her, so when we discussed that topic a while back, when she brought up how the oversaturation in the music industry, she was speaking from a place of frustration when she was doing that. It was just weird because you're frustrated with how saturated the music is, then stop making saturated music. But what I get from that is I'm not saying that this is true. I'm just saying in her mind, she feels as though she can make music that is not saturated, but that's not how you become successful in the industry. So she feels as though she has to placate to the rules of what constitutes success in the industry by making disposable music. I'm trying to get in her head a little bit.
I got
yeah. Like I'm thinking that's what she thinks, and I think that in her heart of hearts, she believes that she's a MC. She believes that she'll get
Stop
on
it,
the
bro.
mic and
Stop it. I can't.
I think that's what she thinks in her heart of hearts. I think in her heart of hearts, she thinks that she's like a legit rapper, right? So in her heart of hearts, she probably feels as though she's cut from the Lauryn Hill, Jean Grey,
No,
Rhapsody. I think in her mind, she feels as though she's
I
cut
got
from
you.
that cloth.
I got
And so, but she's in this weird limbo identity crisis mode where she can't truly make the kind of music that she wants to make because she doesn't feel as though it will allow her to be commercially successful because the rules of modern hip hop have stated loud and clearly that in order to be commercially successful, you have to make disposable music. Even if you have talent, you have to flood the streets with disposable sewage, to use a word that you used once upon a time to describe
you.
some of this music. It's what you call
Sludge.
you call it sludge. Yeah, sludge, sludge, and sewage. Like
Yeah.
that's what I really think she feels.
No.
And so to that end, I would say, well, Miss Leray, make the music you want to make. Stop caring about all this other stuff. Your dad is influential in the music industry. You know what I'm saying? He has pull in some places, resources, I'm sure. I'm pretty sure that has at least something to do with how you've gotten to the point that you are at now anyway. So just make the music that you want to make. Make the music that you want to make. Stop being scared and being so frustrated with the state of the industry. Make what you want to make. If you
Right.
truly are that good, if you truly are that great, then you will be rewarded for being authentic to your craft.
Yes.
You will be. But if you aren't, you won't be. And you'll be exposed for that. And the you know, whatever percentage of the listeners out there who are looking for the real music, they'll see right through that and they'll know you're not authentic with this stuff. And they'll know that you're just another vagina rapper. They'll know that you're just another Lotto. They'll know you're another JT, Young Miami, Cardi B, Megan Thee Stallion. Who else is all of these vagina rappers out here? Ice, Posh Spice. Who else makes this vagina music? Suki Hana and the rest of these vagina rappers, where every song that you hear them on, they're talking about how they're a bad bitch and how they're always wet all the time, right?
Oh
That's what
man.
they rap about. So it's like if you're not really about that, if you're not really about that life and you're really about that music life, then
Right.
just make what you want to make and stop worrying about this other stuff. It's ridiculous. Like I'm sick of these people out here crying about stuff and complaining when it is well within their power to shift their paradigm. Therefore, their inability to do so is based solely on the fact that truly in their heart they don't really want to. I am of the belief that she is making the music she wants to make.
Mm-hmm.
So stop trying to make yourself seem as though that you're this lyricist and you want to make this kind of music, but you can't because the industry doesn't want you to. No, you could if you wanted to. You
Exactly.
just don't want to.
Right.
Period. So once again, uh, I respect the question because it is one that warrants further conversation. If you ask me personally, I am one who leans on longevity, the timeless angle. I don't care too much about like, even though I am somebody who likes bars and lyrics, I don't necessarily, because there's plenty of timeless songs that aren't just the most lyrically laced in bars and all of that kind
Correct.
of stuff, right? So it ain't just about that. But iconic status does to me involve making music that 10, 20 years from now is still going to get played. That's
Yes.
kind of how I look at it. And when I go out, it's crazy to me too because we have all of these conversations about this music stuff and the fissure between generations and how that's a point of contention when it comes to how we evaluate the music. But one thing that I do see whenever I go out somewhere and music is being played, I hear more music from previous eras than the current. That's just what I hear. Whenever there's live music and there's DJs and they playing music, it's probably 70-30 split. 70% is older music from previous generations, previous eras. 30% is current music, which tells me that the more quality stuff was being made before and the more disposable garbage is being made today. The people will always speak. The
Mhm.
DJs are going to play what moves the crowd the most. And what moves the crowd the most, 70% of the time, is music from previous eras. And those aren't the most lyrical in content, but they are in terms of the way that you approach making music, the way that you approach making a song, the chorus, the production value, what you're actually saying in the song, how it actually gets the people to respond. There's an aspect of that that has become lost when you talk about today's music, in my opinion. And maybe I'm subjective because I come from a previous time, whatever. But what's not subjective is what I witness when I look at what's being played when I'm in public venues. And what gets played in public venues is 70% of the time music from previous eras. And look, we can argue this all day. I'm going to go out on a limb and say 10, 15 years from now, if you go out and you're listening to music being played, Ice Spice ain't going to be on that playlist.
I don't know.
I don't think so. I'm gonna go out on a limb and I'm gonna say 15 to 20 years from now, okay, a DJ is more likely to play "It's All About You" by Tupac than whatever Ice Spice's most popular song is. Still, as weird as this new human world is, I am still going to go out on a limb and say timeless music speaks for itself. And that to me, if you ask me my opinion, is what defines icon and iconic status. It's why she named all of those previous artists. She can't name any of her contemporaries. None of these people are going to be getting heavy spins 15 years from now. I don't think, because their stuff is microwavable. It's here 1 minute, gone the next. I don't know what's the last popular Lil Baby song. I don't even know the current one. I know his first song, that "Drip Too Hard, Don't Stand Too Close." I know that song because that was his first one. It made a big splash. Since then, what gets played with him that hits like that? I don't know. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. That's kind of my take on it. I feel like this is a continuation of her trying to kind of come to grips with where she fits within the ecosystem of the music industry. I think she's still trying to discover that, but I also think that she knows the kind of music that she wants to make. And she's not going to fit a square peg into a round hole. So if you're out here making disposable music, it's because you want to, not because the industry is making you. And so long as you're making the disposable stuff, no one's going to recognize you as an icon.
Yeah, and I would just say that if she did sign to some major label, then you know you should have known that the industry is going to make you do something you didn't want to do in the first place. So, and that's another thing too. It's like, how big do you want to be? Apparently, Beyonce big, Rihanna big, like she wants to be that big. I don't, you know, you're already. And my thing is with these people, at least in these situations, you're already big. If I know who you are, because I don't know nobody.
Yeah.
If I know who you are, you're known. Be happy with that. And you're young, so build from the bottom and just make authentic music. So if you are under label control, there's ways of releasing music, to the people of your genuine projects while you give you turn in your term paper with all these whatever, but you can release your journal of your own novels, But for your research paper over here, major labels with all this stuff they want you to do. All right, we'll give you that commercial stuff over here. But all my real artists know what I really do. You can do it like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's so many artists right now that many people don't even know the name of that have cult followings just because they release authentic music to, the people, and that person just don't break stride. They just stay authentic. And if they evolve into a new version of themselves, it's still an authentic, like, just do that. Just play that lane. If you want to be Beyonce, Rihanna big and all that stuff, those women did some stuff to get there. You're not just gonna get spins just for being whatever. You're gonna have to there was a lot of things going on. So, either play ball or be humble and be happy with the people that follow you now and just build from the ground up and have a real grassroots thing instead of this, like, as you say, disposable stuff. And I'll say this is my last point with the music, as you mentioned. Like the reason why I say I don't know the Ice Spice is because what's going to happen in the future is nobody's going to know the names of these artists for some of these songs, and there's just going to be ones like boom, one after another, one hit after another. One hit wonder after the next. It's just going to be a salad of stuff. No, there's no real artist in none of it. So it's just like Amazon. It's just arbitrage, and they just get it's just yeah, it's just going to be one after the next of just useless thing after useless song. And I think that's how they're going to be playing club music, of course, with all the classics, because those are the staples. I mean, we still listen to, we used to do early vibe when we was in
Hmm.
the club. And so the
Hmm.
early vibe was playing all the old jams, you know. And so there'll be an early vibe, I'm sure, where the classics will get played. But nah, man, they gonna want that thought rap they grew up with.
Yeah.
And so that's gonna be they booty hole brown ass looking
Yeah.
ass. So yeah, they're gonna lose their mind. That's gonna be what's that drop it like it's hot or whatever for
Mhm.
us. What was that song with Juvenile and them? Sound like an
Back
old
that
man.
ass up.
Yeah, back that ass up.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be that kind of stuff. That's gonna be their version of it. And so as soon as Booty Hole Brown come on, they all gonna start. What's that? They're gonna start going hitting the dance floor and start clapping.
Yeah.
So hey man, it is what it is, man. But yeah, if she is signed to a major label, I could see the angle of her being, you know, marginalized. But at the same time, bro, I don't really think that she's in her artistry bag enough, because we still would have heard some art through the stuff, because real artists still will try their best to put some real art in the midst of the garbage that they have to sell us. So good luck, Miss Leray. But I hope you get good. She seems to be
Yeah.
wanting to be hungry, but hopefully she gets there, but not right now.
Yeah. I mean, she speaks on this and she is at least more conscientious than some of these other chicks out here. Because they are just they're complete and utter zombies out
Yeah.
here. Um, but yeah, I just kind of think that she's making the music that she wants to make. I do believe that. Um, I don't really think that she's suffering from any sort of struggle and she's being hampered from doing what she wants to do. I think she makes what she wants to make. I think she just wants to be bigger than she is. And so because she is not where she wants to be yet, she's prone to complaining about that, and she'll use the music industry as an excuse as to why that is, when really it might just not be her time yet. But I will say though, um, just because I've heard a few of her songs, talent wise, if we just talking strictly about like rapping, you know, from what I've heard, she's better than most of these female rappers who rap about stuff. Now, whether these chicks actually consider themselves to be rappers is another story, right? Because like Ice Spice, like I said before, Ice Spice recently made comments about how she doesn't consider herself to be a lyricist or lyrical. So maybe she doesn't even really look at herself as a rapper per se. But in terms of making these kinds of songs, hip hop songs, where you put lyrics over a beat, she's got more talent in her than most of these current female rappers. But it kind of gets lost in the shuffle because largely her content sounds the same. So it is what it is. Hope hopefully she figures it out. But yeah, I do think she's doing what she wants.
Good luck,
So
Miss Leray.
yeah, yeah.